Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, September 1. On this date in 1997, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Pensacola, Florida. In the main event, Randy Savage and Scott Hall defeated Diamond Dallas Page and Lex Luger in a tag team match. On this date in 2003, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Lafayette, Louisiana. In the main event, Goldberg, Maven, and Shawn Michaels defeated Randy Orton, Ric Flair, and Triple H in a six-man tag team match. On this date in 2004, TNA held its weekly pay-per-view number 109. In the main event, AJ Styles and Ron Killings defeated Dallas and Kid Cash in a street fight. This has been Today in Wrestling History, September 1.
This is Jim the Anvil Neidhart for the Hart Foundation, and you're listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon Derry on 1490 WBCB, baby. Yeah!
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, taking you to quarter of the hour as we've got high school football. Still a lot to do, though. Of course, Joe called a little bit ago talking about, or actually Sean called talking about the WrestleMania special. The rating on that came in an 0.9 rating this past Saturday in the 18 to 49 demographic. It averaged a little over 2.7 million viewers and finished third in the network ratings behind preseason football and NASCAR. So not bad, but I'm sure they'd love to do a little bit better. Some other news tidbits and otherwise, the TNA title was stolen, at least for a little bit. TNA had two Iowa men were arrested and charged with stealing the TNA World Championship belt as well as a replica version of the strap. Joel Luke was charged with, 33-year-old Joel Luke was charged with second-degree theft, and 39-year-old Forrest Jameson was charged as an accessory. The TNA title belt valued at $6,000, and the replica listed at $400. TMZ reporting the men who stole the belts did so while a stagehand was unloading props from his truck. The suspects were arrested Wednesday with the help of surveillance video. Other TNA news, TNA TV champion Devon given his release. That's right. Devon tweeted the following this past Wednesday night, quote, "I would like to thank the TNA fans for making the last 7 years fun. I'm sure we will see each other again down the road real soon." And Devon was asked by a fan if his contract had expired, and his reply was a simple yes. Also, a little bit of comedy action coming to Chicago. I'm sure Dan will be interested in this. Former WWE superstars Roddy Piper and Mick Foley will compete in a comedy battle on November 16th as part of the Days of the Dead in Chicago. That goes on from the 16th through the 18th of November. Should be interesting there. Also, actor Terry Crews, who you might know if you happen to see those rather strange commercials for a particular deodorant that, I think I can mention that. Old Spice. You know, the Old Spice guy. He stated in a Reddit.com fan chat that he has had discussions with the WWE. Quote, "I'm talking to the WWE about doing some things. I love the energy and excitement and the live component. It's theater on a grand scale." So we may be, who knows, maybe there'll be some sort of partnership. Maybe he'll even get in the ring. Who knows? As long as it's not another Zeus-type thing where we've got Terry Crews against John Cena, I guess we'll be okay there. And also WWE diva Cameron, her real name Arian Andrew, probably know her better as one of the Funkadactyls, of course, along with Brodus Clay, was arrested and charged with DUI on August 24th in Hillsborough County, Florida. She was later released on $500 bond. Her blood alcohol limit, she blew, she was well past the limit. She blew a .20, which is more than double. It's about 2.5 times the legal limit in Florida. And, she apparently offered police $10,000 to let her go. Yeah, that obviously didn't go so well. Perhaps the worst detail is the quote from the WWE rep who said, "Arian did not alert us to this matter. We are investigating and will take appropriate action." Something tells me that pretty soon WWE will have 2 words for her: future endeavored. Also, Harold, of course, who you might have seen in that infamous anger management sketch that they had going on with Kane and Daniel Bryan. I'm sure all the comedy writers for the WWE were giddy over that one. Well, the part of Harold was played by independent wrestler Scorpio Sky, who you might have seen in TNA as he recently competed as Mason Andrews, and he's also appeared as an extra for other things in WWE. Also, we now have a mini-taker. Yes, WWE ring announcer Lillian Garcia tweeted congratulations to The Undertaker and former diva Michelle McCool for their, quote, new bundle of joy. The tweet suggests, and it was later confirmed, that Michelle McCool had given birth to the baby that the couple had been expecting. The Undertaker's older son, Vincent, tweeted that he indeed does have a new baby sister named Kaya Faith Calloway, and the tweet notes that this is The Undertaker's fourth child. Let's go ahead and get back to the phone. Steve's been hanging on for a little bit as we got a few minutes left here. Steve, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
How's it going, Braun?
Not too bad. What's on your mind?
I noticed, I got a piggyback on the first caller about Cena and Undertaker. They really must not think we're watching. He had the same poster there that they had when Cena did Rob Van Dam. If Cena wins, his place burns down.
Oh, yeah, if Cena wins, we riot, yeah.
Right, and I'm just wondering, when is John Cena going to step up in the middle of that ring and say, hey, Vince, I've been your lackey for 10 years, no more.
Well, what would he have to gain from doing that? You figure he is the face of the franchise.
No, but you know and I know for the ever since he became champion, that company's lost money, big time money. And it's always easier to blame the one guy than the guy who's signing the checks.
Yeah, you've got a point there. I mean, I know Kevin Nash still gets hounded for 1995, which was the World Wrestling Federation's worst business year as far as drawing money.
Now, I couldn't get on last week. You said the best Canadian wrestler?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one that I thought was going to replace Hogan, I guess he got screwed because of the steroids, was Dino Bravo.
Dino Bravo, yeah.
Now, and isn't it funny that when the law finally caught up to Vince and his juice, that he had to go to Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels to save his company? Now, the question is, all that's left is Shawn Michaels. Can he really save the company one more time?
I don't think he's getting back in the ring, so that's why he's got to look to other guys. But, I mean, a lot of the veterans from that era, I mean, Triple H, how many more matches are we going to get out of him? The Undertaker, at this point, he's 47.
I think Vince is going to try to pull him. This might be the last gasped effort. If it's Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, and Brock's just about ready to kill him, and Shawn Michaels saves the day, you can say goodbye to Undertaker and Brock Lesnar forever.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I mean, obviously Vince hasn't thought that far ahead because he's usually rewriting episodes of Raw 5 minutes before it's supposed to make air. So I definitely know he doesn't have a long-term plan for WrestleMania.
When the Rock comes to WrestleMania, is he stuck with Punk? Because nobody wants to see him with Cena.
Yeah, we've already kind of been there, done that, and as you heard from Sean earlier, it wasn't exactly anything that anybody liked.
To you is, what are they going to do with John Cena at WrestleMania? Another Triple H match?
Well, there are a number of different directions they could go. It looks like the possibility, it looks like they're kind of planting the seed for a Brock Lesnar Triple H rematch at WrestleMania.
That means, Shawn Michaels and Chin Music's going to be there somehow. He's going to say...
Yeah, he's going to be involved somewhere, but obviously not wrestling, and that probably gives you the John Cena Rock rematch for WrestleMania.
Oh,
and then Punk defending the title, who knows, maybe against Dolph Ziggler if they finally, let him break through that glass ceiling.
I'll tell you, if I'm Vince McMahon, I'm starting to think, what is Ted Turner's phone number again? Maybe he's just signed to, get 60 cents on a dollar and let Ted take care of this company.
Well, the problem is Ted would run it into the ground, and at this point, there's shareholders to answer to. Which I don't know. That's another dynamic of it. Okay, the product has suffered, but the shares have gone up almost $2 a share. The stocks have. So I don't know. I guess is Vince happy in that regard? Ever since they've made the announcement of going to 3 hours, sure, the ratings have been stagnant at best and falling at worst, but at least they have that extra hour of ad revenue to cling on to.
Well, Vince, you don't want to lose money on nothing. All right, hey, Brian, have a good holiday weekend.
All right, thank you. You do the same. Greatly appreciate it, Steve. All right, I just got word we have the okay to go another 5 minutes to go up to 12:50, so that'll give me time to get one more caller in here. We'll get Nick in here. Nick from L.A. What's going on, Nick?
Hi, how are you doing? I got a question. I thought I recognized a couple of the rest of TNA deal with Aces and Ace. And one looks kind of like Jeff Hardy, I guess. Well,
yeah, Ron was talking a little bit about that earlier. The problem is, I think because the roster is so thin, they're just finding bodies and putting them in black hoods at this point. I mean, there's I think at this point there's too much to read into it. I mean, that could be something that they could go back if that's a direction they want to go to. But I think at this point they're just looking for extra hands for this brawl who are on the roster. So yeah, there may be some familiar faces, but I don't think in the long term that the plan is to have them as a part of this group.
No, I don't think so either. I think I think we're gonna find out when it's settled. It's just gonna be a media group, and that's it.
We'll see. It may end up leading or coming to a head at Bound for Glory, or knowing how TNA seems to work and kind of backwards promote, for the episodes of Impact as opposed to the pay-per-views. Probably that first Impact right after Bound for Glory. That might be where we'll get the reveal. Is that's their biggest pay-per-view of the year.
I'm wondering now with Hulk Hogan in the picture, if we're going to see a NWO return versus a new NWO return versus Aces and Ace.
Well, one, I don't think anybody wants to see that. Two, I was going to say thanks so much for the call. I only got another minute left here. Two, the other issue is that the NWO and all the property associated with that is now owned and copyrighted and all that by WWE. So there's no way that they're going to pass that over. Again, it's not something that WWE is going to use, but they're also not going to let somebody else use it, even though I think it would do the company more harm to rehash the NWO. Here, what are we, 16 years later, almost 17 years later, as opposed to just letting it kind of be. I mean, might they come up with some sort of new name? Possibly, but I mean, you've got Hogan coming after like a rehashed version of the NWO, or just different enough to keep the copyright infringement suits away. You know how that goes. Kind of like DDP and Self High Five, sounding eerily similar to Nirvana's "Smells Like Teen Spirit." That's just another example. All right, one other thing to note, of course, for 2 weeks from now, a couple of people mentioned somebody who might be involved with the Aces and Eights, or at least under the hood. One of those people that is speculated will be over at George's Cards and Collectibles in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks from today, former WWE and TNA star D'Lo Brown, easy for me to say, will be at George's Cards and Collectibles on New Falls Road in Levittown. That's Saturday, September 15th. It'll be from 1 to 3. Of course, you can tune into Pro Wrestling Weekly as you make your way over there. 1490 AM dial. Check out D'Lo Brown right at 1 o'clock. Sounds like a perfect plan to me. More information and to purchase advance tickets, call George's Cards and Collectibles at 215-943-2475. Or you can also log online to georgescollectibles.com. That's going to do it for me. I'll be back next week with a No Surrender preview. And stay tuned for high school football here on 1490 WBCB.